There we go. Okay, so what I'm working on now is getting this plywood up, which is difficult because all the sand gets in there. Tried vacuuming it out. Didn't really work, just didn't get the stuff out that's down in there. I'm getting the hang of it now. So anyways, unfortunately, this sheet here, the seam is right, using my flashlight, is right there in front of the pail. The other seam is here. I can't use that because this sheet goes underneath the wall and it goes underneath the pile of boards there. This is the only one that I can get at fairly easily, and that's the middle there. So there's 2x4s that go across there, and it actually makes the floor nice and firm. Now remember, I said the problem we have here is, I don't know if you can see it on this one, but we could not get 3/4 inch tongue and groove. So it was just 3/4 inch because we're going at 2-foot centers. Problem there is that, you know, the two pieces aren't kind of mated together. Now originally we were going to go with radiant in-floor heating with the aluminum plates on the bottom. And we've kind of since changed that to, I think we're going to go with ceramic tile on the entire main floor. Mostly because of, where is she? There she is. Yeah. She's really bored. It's because the sun's just starting to come out and it's still wet, and I won't play with her because she'll just get muddy and bring all that mud in, which is exactly why hardwood floors will not work downstairs. So upstairs with the dogs aren't allowed. I have my ash stairs going upstairs. Down here we want to find a really dense, so that probably means porcelain tile that's fairly rough, like has a lot of traction for the dogs. And then we have a lot of rugs we can lay around too. But it's just putting hardwood floor down here and having the sand, like you saw me digging that out of the little screw holes. It's everywhere. It's just, we have sand in the backyard, but it's not the sand so much as that all the driveway and everything, they use crushed granite here. So the particles are very sharp and extremely hard. And you just cannot keep that from coming in here. The other thing too is that they'll, the dogs will go down to the water and they'll go swimming. And then at nighttime you come up here and they lay on the floor. Well, it soaks through their blankets, and underneath the blankets on this floor here, there'll be a big wet spot. If it was hardwood floor, that would damage the floor, and the floor would look like a mess after a while. So we've decided to go with ceramic floor. Don't really like laminate, and laminate's slippery for the dogs again. So we're looking for something that's anyone have any ideas, but something that's fairly dense. Even the big tiles are fine. And then we want to put the radiant in-floor heating in to the floor. My electrician says that stuff works really well. I mean, they're very, very careful with it, but he says he's never had a problem. So now we have to get enough electricity in the solar panels, which is something I was discussing with an electrician up here today. Can we get enough electricity to heat that? That's a good question. Because we only have so much room for solar panels because we live in the woods. Unless we cut down all the trees to get it more sun, we have limited sunshine. So, I mean, we're still going to go with the radiant in-floor heating because I'm sure that when we're not up here and the sun's shining and we don't need that electricity that the solar panels are making when we're not here at all. So if that can go into heating the floor, then yeah, that's my 220 volt system. That's why it's separate. That's why it's going to have batteries on it that are it's on its own, meant to drain. So that all the energy from the sun that we can get is going to go into the floor and into heating the cabin up, and the fireplace is just going to be supplemental heat. That's the idea anyways. Boy, tell you, it's time to lose a little bit of belly fat here. This is awfully hard to squeeze. Inhale, inhale. Oh, oh, oh. There. Okay. So, do this without falling down. There's the 3-wire I have. I have a lot. Anyways, in that spot down there, I'm going to focus this thing a little sharper down in that spot. I always thought about putting a sauna down there. You can just get through there from that rock. So that wire has to actually go about over here. So this is not going to be easy for me to get that wire through there. I'm going to be crawling on my back. And Bruni is just like, what are you doing, huh? What's Daddy doing, huh? Is he doing weird things again? Pulling up the floor? And see, that's how we bolted everything down. If we couldn't grind a flat enough spot, we'd pour concrete. And then like that bolt there would have gone right down into the stone. That there goes into the stone, and then there was a big flat piece poured. So it was pretty time consuming. This is what Nicholas did this. And he did a good job. It's like I said, in that big rainstorm, this was the place to be. I mean, it's bolted to the rock. Not going to go anywhere. So I don't know when I want to start this. I also should be putting, while I'm open like this, blocking underneath all of the joints in the floor. So it's like in the middle there, so it doesn't, so when we have to do that for ceramic. You can't have the floor being squishy at all. So that's something else I have to do. I wish I had some help for that. I don't have some help here right now. I might just lay the plywood down. After running the wire, there's 2 pieces of wire I have to run through here. And then I should probably use 3-wire because I've got so much of it to the fridge, and that way the fridge can have its own circuit. I mean, it doesn't really need one, but then there'll be a separate circuit from there. Maybe I can incorporate the basement run with that one. I just got to count the amount of circuits that I have. Anyways, I got to go out, get some table cream, maybe some Algonquin coffee, and gonna come back. Whether I start this then or not, I don't know. It might be tomorrow I'm leaving, but I can put at least 2 hours in here, at least get the wiring done. Get the wiring over to where the panel's gonna go. And then if I'm not doing the 2x4 in between now, the support, I'll do that later. As far as putting the support for upstairs, it's easy. easy access. But upstairs there's going to be hardwood flooring because the dogs aren't allowed up. So I don't think that that's necessarily that important to. I mean, it does stop squeaking. Sometimes you can get the squeaking going through, like if the joint in the wood is close to the joint in the floor, it could creak there. So I don't know. It's a project for when I have more time. Well, the sun's hitting there, but I think the sun is coming up way back there. As you can see, there's nothing on this roof yet. It's about 7 in the morning. So it's 8:30 and the sun's right there. As it months go by, it's going to get lower and lower. So there's nowhere near, I can't get that in there, but the solar panels are around quite a bit around the corner. The sun would have to get into that gap there before it would light up those solar panels. And this is where I thought of putting the other solar panels. As you can see, it hitting the top corner of that roof. So if I could go 3 or 4 solar panels wide, and being it's above the deck, I could rake it off easier with my roof rake. Although I spoke with someone yesterday, and here's the problem is if I'm so limited with sunshine here, I bought these used solar panels. Wouldn't I be better off with solar panels that are newer and more efficient? So you tell me what to do. I don't know. Like, do I pay the money to put them up there? And he also said that the racking that he has for them, doesn't have the right size. So it's kind of like, I don't know. I guess I could find another spot for them somewhere. Maybe. I don't know. Now, isn't that annoying? It's got me up at 2 o'clock in the morning. I emptied the fridge, turned everything off. The fault talks something about a difference in... It doesn't make any sense to me. So there's a difference in photovoltaic. In other words, I think it's saying that it doesn't want the battery to drain to go over to the solar panels. So I tried waiting this morning until the sun was close to the solar panels, and it's charging, so it's getting current. I don't know how long I can stand the noise. It's Saturday morning, and of course they're not going to answer their phone or anything. I guess I could try. I've tried shutting everything down and then restarting it to see if it would reset itself, and no, it hasn't. But at least this is charging the battery, although it's showing the battery as being close to fully charged. It's not. And it says it's putting 1 amp into the battery. I guess let's just keep this going as long as I can stand it. Don't know what else to do. Okay, so that was an ordeal. I finally got the wires up here through the floor. I gotta tack them to the side and up the stud here to roughly where they're gonna come out. So I've been crawling around in the dungeon here. Not very nice. It's about, I don't know, 16 inches high. So this is where it's at least fairly high, but it gets a lot lower than that. So I fed the coil through from there and still have to wire it over there where the fridge is going to be wired. But yeah, a thought occurred to me when it was down there. Can always threaten the kids with putting them down there, the grandchildren, if they're bad. So that's what it looks like down here. It's not very pleasant. I was just kidding about putting the grandchildren down here. I'm not going to do it. So back up north again. Let's see what happens. 53.3 volts when I left. So what we'll do is, so 120 volts. No, that's just the output. 52.6 is the battery. PV is at 19 degrees Celsius and 0.25 kilowatts. 147 volts, 1.6, 1.7 amps. 5 amps would be nicer, but... So woke up this morning, and this had dropped to 51.7 volts from 52.4.6 last night. And there's no load on it overnight whatsoever. It's warm at the side, so I have no idea. I don't think it should be losing that much. Keep an eye on it to see how quickly it regenerates now that the sun's come out. You can see behind me, but it hasn't quite hit the solar panels, although it is showing they're charging. It's gone up to 51.9, so I don't know. It's Saturday, so I think Monday I'm going to call a couple of guys and ask if that's normal, that it should drop that low with no load. Okay. $53.3 volts. It was higher than that. Just have the battery open. I was just checking for any heat in there. So far I haven't found any. There, where am I? 18. See if that goes up higher. Yeah, a little bit warmer. Be at the terminal maybe, but it doesn't seem to be, come on, focus. Doesn't seem to be any hot spots. So that was at 53.7 a little while ago. So it's getting I'm not going to say anything. I was really, it's really in sunshine, in good sunshine right now. I was thinking, oh yeah, great, this is going to charge up today. It's going to get up to, because once it gets up to 54 volts, then it really starts, it's kind of like a bottle filling up. It really fills up quickly. Just want to check one thing. So that's 3.31 volts. So I think when I got them, they were at 3.29. So there's still, I think, quite a ways to go in filling this whole thing up. Once it gets to 3.4, that's when it's really going to fill up quickly.
Yeah, so I think it's still got a ways to go. Well, we have all day. The fridge is on.
And see where we at. We're at the end of the day. I'm changing the wiring around either tomorrow morning when there's not so much light, or early evening here. Um, so I'm going to be running a 10 gauge solar wire in from my panels outside to in here. Um, it's going to go right now, and I got to find out where to drill through, and then have a 1 inch conduit coming in. Drill that out. I want to dig it down just a few inches below the. I just don't want anyone tripping over the cables. So at least I'll clean it up for now, and then when I do the final solar array, I can, the conduit's there and the entrance into the basement is there. So we're at this now. It's about almost 2 o'clock. We've run new wiring in. Comes up through there. Made sure it was long enough because the inverter is going to end up being here, and that's going to be done nice and neat in the future. So we dropped a tree. It was a maple tree that was hanging over and shading them. It fell and took the top of that birch tree off there. Zoom in on that. Yeah, it just broke the top of it, and there's the branches. There's the branches down there. So killed two birds with one stone. Cleaned up the wiring there, and then burying the conduit pipe underneath some sand so no one's tripping over it. And hopefully those batteries charge today. Okay, come on. I'm not going to fry anything in this right now because it's late at night and I don't. The battery went from 53 to 52.9. I just tried it out, but come on. Just put that split receptacle in, wired it. No heat so far. You gotta press menu. So that, I'm assuming, is 5 amps, so that'll draw a lot of power. Yeah, I can feel it warming up. Half an amp. I don't know if that would fry an egg or not. Let's go. See what this inverter's telling us. It did not charge up today. Stupid thing. Well, it's at 53. No, 52.9. See if that drops at all. The fan has to shut off over there. Yeah, really, it's 5:30, and that's terrible. Lousy trees. You can see there's sunlight up there. It's just everything's in shade. I guess in the winter, once the leaves fall off, it's going to help. Okay, so the fan shut off and it stayed at 52.9. I'm going to unplug it anyways, and I may use it tomorrow morning. It's supposed to be sunny. For some reason, that battery did not charge up today, like anywhere near. I checked each cell, and when it starts to reach that top of the bottle thing that I talked about, that's at 3.4 volts, and it was at, I think I got up to 3.35, so it's not even close to being full, although there was a lot of capacity. But I'm still not sure about this inverter. Um, Came down this morning and it was warm for some reason. Um, don't know why. It was, and it showed it was drawing some current when the solar panels were disconnected. So I don't have anything else I can put in there right now. Tomorrow's Monday. I'm gonna call around and see, and then I hope I don't have any trouble with these guys if I decide to take this inverter back. I kind of, I don't want to be stuck without an inverter now that I've got it, but. There you go, our first beam. I think you can, here, I'll move this way and see if you can, oh, jeez, it's heavy. Okay, now, can you flip it up so it's standing on end? Yeah. Ah, it's on the thing here. There. The one dip there, but that can be the bottom. It's actually got some nice grain. I'm glad Barbara's not here because she'd be saying, oh, look at that. That's too beautiful to use as a beam. So that's a beam for holding up our wood pile, which is right in front of me. We're going to go and set that up next. You're gonna have to drop it an inch. Drop it an inch. It doesn't make any sense. We measured, yeah, I guess because it's bent. So you know what happened? It's dropped below the top of the bunks. So when I measured that at 12, it was already
Something down.
yeah. So it's okay, flip it now and then we'll make the next cut. I gotta help. Poor baby. No stick. Yeah, we need 3. Well, that didn't work out very well. Hopefully the blade didn't get too dulled, but there's something else I know. This thing's sticking up. Learning. Stop! That's it for that blade.